KBEL News at 11 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brisa Mendez. One person is dead tonight after a hit and run in Eugene. It happened in the area West 11th in Oak Patch around 5:25 p.m.
This is NBC 16 News at 6:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brisa Mendez. Two men are in jail after police found nearly 6 pounds of suspected meth in their car in Canyonville. Thursday, the Douglas Interagency Narcotics team detained them in relation to an ongoing investigation. This morning, it appears Russian forces are continuing to take aim at civilian targets in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calling the latest round of attacks more evidence of war crimes carried out by Russian President Vladimir Putin. As millions continue to try and escape the violence, the trip to the border becoming more difficult as the fighting intensifies. Jay Gray has been following the war along the Polish-Ukraine border and joins us now with the latest. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky once again called for the U.S. to help enforce a no-fly zone over his country.
In Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay. KBEL News at noon starts now.
Breaking news as we come on the air. Minneapolis police officer who says she meant to use her taser instead of her gun when she shot and killed. President Biden is traveling to Pittsburgh today to promote parts of his domestic agenda. The White House says Biden plans to discuss his efforts to fix national supply chain issues. Comedian and beloved Full House dad Bob Saget has died. Officials confirmed the 65-year-old star was found unresponsive in his hotel room in Orlando, Florida, late this afternoon. Gas prices continue to decline just 1 week after hitting a record high in the U.S. One person was killed and 28 injured in a mass shooting Saturday night in Arkansas. Funerals are being held for the victims who were shot and killed in the racist attack at Buffalo Supermarket last weekend. 67-year-old Deacon Hayward Patterson's was today. Basketball coach at Mount Hood Community College is now facing federal sex crime charges. According to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, 35-year-old Nathan Bowie connected with female athletes at a basketball clinic in Glide last November.
And you know who else won their game today? Your Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks, 33-13, definitely a huge win.
You know what I'm holding here? The Seahawks playoff chances, they're just so small, but it exists. Like, this is a real thing. But they're very small, but they kept those chances
They've been
alive
having a little rough season, but go Hawks coming on strong, taking that win back to Seattle
Crazier
tonight.
Things have happened.
Absolutely. Still ahead tonight. The Senate passes a $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. The measure, which provides military and economic help, passes 86-11. From theaters to apartment buildings with sleeping residents, Russia strikes appear to have no limits. The World Health Organization has verified at least 43 attacks on healthcare facilities in Ukraine alone. There are fears Russia could turn to China for a lifeline to continue its deadly assault. Bree Jackson is in Washington with the latest. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brisa Mendez. Pressing needs of Oregonians will soon be addressed at the special session tomorrow. Oregon lawmakers will discuss critical topics that will take immediate action if passed. The city of Mariupol is refusing to surrender today, even after the bombing of a building labeled huge letters children. The U.S. is stepping up its efforts to help. Amy Kiley reports President Joe Biden is holding talks today with European leaders. He's traveling to Brussels later this week and then to Poland. A new variant of the coronavirus has been found in southern Africa. What action world leaders are taking and their advice to you up next after the break. An adult in custody at the Oregon Department of Corrections died yesterday morning. Recall alert affecting us right here in Oregon. More than 28,000 pounds of ground beef have been recalled due to possible E. coli contamination. Meanwhile, at least 30 tornadoes were reported across 6 states in the Midwest and South. Federal emergency management officials say widespread major disasters like this are becoming more common as Oregon gas prices are hitting all-time highs. Our team spoke with Colin Woolston with EPD. He told us they do not have exact numbers on the crime because most gas theft cases go unreported. Lights Christmas tree farm. A little rain didn't stop the show from going on in an outdoor covered setting, and it didn't stop our own Olivia Young from checking out the performance. Take a listen.
You're watching Oregon's News at 10 on locally owned Oregon's Fox.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brisa Mendez. We begin this evening taking a closer look at the first case of the Omicron variant now in Lane County. Heavy snow could be found over downtown Portland late Saturday night. These are just a few shots we captured as the snow started to accumulate on the grassy surfaces. These wintry conditions might be foreshadowing of what's to come by the end of the week for the valleys. Chief Meteorologist Josh Kozar joins us now with, well, look at that, John BF. I'm glad they're adding a new addition to the family. I wish I could own a cat. I love cats, but I'm actually allergic. I get really bad, itchy throat,
that's not
and
good.
I start sneezing, but they're so adorable.
I know. I mean, I think at the White House, you would actually be okay with the cat, Brisa, because you could be in one wing and the cat could be in the other wing. So you probably would never even.
I know. Do you have any cats or puppies?
I have a dog.
And with holiday travel and the spread of the Omicron variant, there's more urgency around getting a COVID test. The Oregon Health Authority is trying to make tests more accessible. As Megan Allison reports, that demand is only expected to go up. First, at 11, high winds led to fallen trees and power lines, leaving thousands without power. Good evening, I'm Brisa Mendez. Alan Matthew is off for tonight. Meteorologist Chevy Chevalier has been tracking the storm all weekend and has the latest information. Chevy, you said that this is the strongest storm system in the last year, so what can we expect as we proceed into the overnight hours and throughout the week? President Biden is rejecting the idea the virus is here to stay. This comes after a group of doctors who this month's One's Purpose is reminding you to be vigilant, look for the signs of trafficking, and report anything that feels wrong. If you have questions, need help, or want to get involved, go to onespurpose.com or call 541-221-3448 any time of the day. Tragedy in New York City this weekend. A fatal apartment fire in the Bronx erupts Sunday morning. John Lawrence reports. Straight ahead on NBC 16 today, South Eugene Starbucks employees are unionizing. We're checking in with store employees about their goals for the movement. Plus, what the University of Oregon's Corona Corps is doing to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and how they plan on taking those efforts statewide. Thanks for joining us for NBC 16 today. I'm Brisa Mendez. We'll take a closer look of all those top stories shortly, but first let's head over to the Weather Center with John V.F. Meltzo tracking some freezing temperatures across Western Oregon this Friday morning, John V.F.
That's right, Brisa.
Today is the last day to apply for emergency rental assistance. That's a week later than the Oregon Department of Housing and Community Services originally planned it. President Biden held another call with the leader of Ukraine Thursday. He spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as the security situation of the border with Russia intensifies. President Biden tweeted this photo of himself on the call, saying the U.S. and its allies would respond decisively to a Russian invasion of the country. Former Empire star Jussie Smollett was released from prison Wednesday. President Biden has resisted calls to close the sky as well as pleas for fighter jets. We'll have more coverage coming up this morning on the war in Eastern Europe. New tonight, the number of U.S. children who've contracted a mysterious type of severe hepatitis is growing. It's looking like 3 female candidates will face off in a historic race for Oregon governor. Midterm elections don't typically have the highest turnout, but there are a few reasons why that may not be the case this year. Warmer temperatures and high pollen counts are expected over the next week. KVAL Chief Meteorologist Josh Kozar joins us now in the Weather Center with a closer look. Josh. President Biden's son reportedly made $11 million working on overseas jobs, and that is the reason some Republicans are demanding an investigation. Josh and Aaron, would you purchase this umbrella?
No.
Absolutely not. I bought it. Oh, yes. I think I got my umbrella at Target for like $5.99. It's perfect.
They only last for so long, and then they get turned inside out, and it's a mess. But
this is just way out of the pocket. Too expensive. I wouldn't buy that. Yeah. We wouldn't buy that.
Must be indestructible.
It looks good, though.
Yes. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening.